Oris announced 3 versions of the Propilot X Caliber 400 during the Watches and Wonders events a few months back in Geneva. Today, AWG Fine Watches in Mid Valley Megamall is organizing an Oris roadshow, and I'm going to get some hands-on experience, hopefully with all 3 of them.
So we are here at Mid Valley already. The Oris roadshow is right at the center court. Let me show you. The story of Propilot started in 2019 when Oris introduced the big crown Propilot X Caliber 115. It was a big watch with 44mm case diameter and a skeletonized dial. According to Oris, these new releases, especially the grey dial, is a concept of the Propilot X continues in its purest form. So let's start with the basic. Instead of a big 44mm case like the original Propilot X, this time the Propilot X Caliber 400 comes in a full titanium case in a smaller case size of 39mm. The lug-to-lug is 46.9mm and the lug width is 20mm. The case thickness of the watch is 12mm and it comes with 3 colors: blue, grey and pink, aka the salmon dial. The dial is not completely smooth, it has a slightly pebble texture to it, and the texture is particularly visible on the lighter salmon color variation of the watch. You won't find a whole lot of writings on the dial. At the top, you will see a simple Oris logo. At the middle, you will see the name Propilot X and the wording 5 days, and at the bottom, you can see the word Swiss made with the date window in the middle. The watch has painted hour marker in 5-minute increments loomed at the tip of the marker. It has long pointed hour and minute hand, and both the hands are loomed, so visibilities are not an issue here. As for the second hand, although it is not loomed, you can see clearly the brush finishing on the hand sweeping at 28,800 beats per hour. It has double dome sapphire crystal at the top of the watch with anti-reflective coating at both sides. I think the blue and salmon dials are Oris's more bolder approach to the market, offering serious watches with fun color choices. However, the grey dial also deserves its own credit because the differences in the grey dial variant of this watch is more than just the dial color. Right off the bat, you can see that the hour and minute hand are in darker shade of grey and the hour markers are black instead of white. The date window at 6 o'clock is also in black color. Personally, I think this is the right move because a white date window on this watch could be a little bit too contrast to the overall look of the watch. Putting everything in shades of black and grey color does give a more stealthy look to the watch. The watch comes with 100 meters of water resistance thanks to the screw-down crown. This gives the Pilot watch much more versatility on a day-to-day use. Except for diving and flying to the moon, you can basically do anything else with the watch. The oversized crown is signed with Oris logo and it is made out of titanium. According to Oris, they use different grades of titanium for the different parts of the watch where it makes the most sense. For example, the bezel is using a harder titanium compared to the case. Similar to the original Propilot, it has turbine texture titanium bezel at the top. It is a fixed bezel, and because it is not thick, it doesn't get into the way of the dial, but it gives just the right amount of character to the watch. You can almost instantly recognize the watch from far away just by noticing the dial and a jet turbine bezel. Unlike the fluted bezel you see in other watches like the Rolex Datejust for example, the pattern in the jet turbine bezel is slightly angled, and they are not as raised as the one in the Datejust. So when you run your finger across a bezel, you can feel that it is rather smooth. This continues at the bottom bezel around the see-through case back. The glass at the bottom is a see-through sapphire glass as well. This allows you to take a peek at the in-house Caliber 400 powering the watch. Oris went for a clear, unobstructed view of the case back so you can enjoy and admire the movement. It has 5 days of power reserve running at the accuracy of -3 + 5 seconds a day. It comes with a 10 years warranty and it has 10 years service interval as well. Now let's talk about the anti-magnetic feature of the movement. Calibre 400 is using more than 30 non-ferrous and anti-magnetic components in the movement, including a silicon escape wheel and a silicon anchor. In a testing done by the renowned Dubois, Calibre 400 deviated by less than 10 seconds a day after the exposure to 2250 Gauss. For context, the latest version of the ISO 764 standard for anti-magnetic watches requires that to qualify as anti-magnetic, the watch must be accurate to within 30 seconds a day after exposure to 200 Gauss. Calibre 400 recorded 1/3 of the deviation after exposure to more than 11 times the force permitted, making it a highly anti-magnetic movement. We have a full titanium bracelet with screw-adjusted links, and it is tapered all the way to, I believe, is 16mm at the spring-loaded clasp. The finishing is brushed, but they do catch and reflect light very well, and at the clasp you can see some Oris labeling and some numbers, and I believe this is the reference number of the watch. Back to the bracelet, you can see some gaps between each link. These gaps helps in ventilation and will keep the bracelet cool on your wrist, especially in the hot, humid weather in Malaysia. The operation of the clasp is quite interesting. It gives a satisfying click when you put it on, and to remove the watch, you will lift the clasp just like what you will do when you loosen the seatbelt on an airplane. Now I'll let you listen to the flick. However, there is no micro adjustment to the bracelet, so adjusting the watch to the perfect fit may become a small inconvenience to some. Putting the watch on, it feels very comfortable on my tiny 15.5 cm wrist. Because the whole watch is made out of titanium, it doesn't add a lot of weight to the watch, and they just sit comfortably on the wrist. Overall, I think this is a solid watch with a reliable movement. The design is simple, elegant, but yet they give a little bit of a playful tone, especially with the salmon dial. So if you are in the market looking for an aviation-inspired, aviation-style watch, but you want simpler design and you have the budget for it, so this watch should definitely be under your on your radar. Thanks again to AWG Fine Watches for allowing me to film the watch. They are organizing an Oris event from 16 to 22nd of May at the Center Court in Mid Valley Megamall, so do check them out. And also please subscribe to my channel and follow my Instagram at Propilot Straps if you are looking for high quality NATO and leather straps. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.